Good day. Welcome back to my neck of the woods. My name is Dika, and I like to share my experiences and help people out along the way. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about how I fell out of a tree stand and somehow I survived. I still have permanent damage to this day, and this happened, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years ago. All right, so before I get started, subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and ring that bell. That'll alert you of any new videos I got coming out. All right. So this was post-deer season. I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, me and a buddy decided that we would go coyote hunting. And we had never been coyote hunting before, and we were baiting. We were dragging in large amounts of like deer carcasses that have been festering and stinking. So we thought the smell would attract them, which is true. So we went in at 5:30 in the morning, and we were dragging deer carcasses behind us, and we sort of hung them in trees outside of this tree stand that we were going to sit in. Now, the tree stand was not our tree stand. It was a double tree stand that had been in the woods for some time, and it was used for deer hunting in the woods where we deer hunted. So we decided that we were going to sit in that. Now, he had a gun, and I had a bow, which was probably a bad idea to begin with. So we decided we were going to go up into this double tree stand. It was approximately 5:30 in the morning, still dark out. So, and we didn't check it. We never checked it for safety. We never checked it for anything, which was also a bad idea. Do not try that at home. And I am a huge safety advocate in tree stands. I mean, I have everything from Prizik knots to hang-on bars, and obviously I wear a full harness, all that stuff. So for whatever reason, we were stupid. I didn't have a harness on. I wasn't latched into anything, and neither did he. So we were dumb. So, and we came out of it very, very lucky. So I climbed up to the tree stand, and it was a very flimsy two-man tree stand to begin with. The ladder was, when I was going up it, I'm like, this is really wobbly. And we were both relatively heavyweights. I weigh upwards of 230 pounds, and he probably weighs a little less. I bet he weighed in the 200s. So to put two large men in a flimsy tree stand was also red flag. Should have just stopped at that point. But we were stupid, and we did not. So I climbed up, and I had and there was no pull ropes or anything like that. So I carried my bow up. I sat there, and I sat on the side, and it went like this, and I was like, oh shit, this can't be good. I looked behind me, and the top of the tree stand was ratcheted. Excuse me. It was ratcheted into the tree, and the ratchet didn't look old. It didn't look worn. It didn't look anything. I looked at it. I mean, I had a headlamp on. I looked at it, and I figured that it was okay, and I figured that when he sits on this side, that would even it out. I'm such a dummy. So anyway, so I sat in it, and what I did is I had pulled there was a shooting rail, and I pulled it up and over me to just, I don't know, for safety or whatever it was. For whatever reason, I did that, and I had my bow here. So my friend Scott, he was climbing up the ladder when I sat down. He climbed up, and I just did not have a good feeling about any of this because it was just very, very flimsy. So he climbs up, and he hands me his gun. It was a 17, and so I'm in the stand. I have a gun, and I have a bow right here, and I find out later that this gun was loaded, which was dumb. Don't do any of this ever at home, ever. So I'm sitting there like this, and my friend Scott, once he came up to the top of the tree stand where the platform was, where you would sort of step onto it, and he went under the shooting rail. He stepped on that, and at that point in time, this tree stand was not holding our weight. The bottom tree stand part folded like a dunk tank. And so the ladder piece broke off and went to the side, which he was on, and he kind of fell to that side, and the other piece folded and swung around the tree. So I immediately dropped both weapons, and I fell, and the weapons fell to the ground, and the tree stand kind of went like this and tilted. We were probably about 18 feet up, and for whatever, if I didn't put that shooting reel down, I would have just fell with it. But I didn't. Somehow my arms caught it caught the side of the shooting rail, and I was hanging like this from the shooting rail. So if you can picture it at all, it's about 5:30 in the morning. It's completely dark out. I do still have a headlamp on, but I can't really. It's like up to the top of my head, and I couldn't really get it. It was almost pointing behind me, and so I'm hanging like this, and my days are numbered as far as how long I can hang like that. I'm not the strongest guy in the world, and I'm certainly not in the best shape. My friend Scott he was still kind of strangely attached to the tree stand, but he was just in a ball of briars on the end, and he couldn't help me. And even if he was on the ground, he still couldn't help me. Maybe if he got the ladder off, these are things that I've thought about afterwards. If he got the ladder off, maybe he could have maybe put it up and, I don't know, gave me something to climb on. I don't know. So here I am. I'm hanging from this tree stand like this. I look down, and all I see is dark. I don't see anything down there. I mean, it's just dark. So I'm thinking to myself, the only way to get out of this is to drop. Now I'm trying to think, when I climbed in, did I see any boulders? Did I see any sticks sticking up or anything like that? And I really couldn't remember. It's a tree stand that I wasn't familiar with, and we were both up in it. And so I had, my friend Scott was tangled in briars over there, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, all right, the only thing I can do is drop. And I was I'm 6'2". I'm trying to figure out how high I am in my head. And I'm like, well, this is probably, at the base, it was probably 16 feet maybe. And then I'm 6 feet, so maybe I'm dropping 10 feet from my feet. I didn't know, so I was just trying to figure it out. So ultimately what I did is I told Scott, I said, I can't hold on very longer. I feel like my shoulder is about to dislocate. It's going to pull out. And I know people saying, well, why don't you try to grab with the other hand? In the position I was in, and because I had waited so long, I just couldn't finagle, because I was hanging sideways like this, and the shooting rail was here in my elbow area. So if I even let go this way, because I was holding it like this, at the time, I mean, maybe if I had more time, or if I was on the ground instructing someone, I was just the pain in my shoulder and in my neck was tough at the time. So what I did is I just I tried to let go and grab I tried to grab with this hand and let go of this hand, so I could maybe ultimately just hang like this, but that didn't work out. So I went to grab, and I just fell. So I went down, and in retrospect, it was probably about a 12 to a 13-foot drop straight down. There was some ledge below me, but it didn't hurt me too bad. When I fell, my knees came straight up and hit me in the nose, and I got a bloody nose. I did have pain, and afterwards I had a whole slew of bruising underneath here, and lots of pain and trouble with range of motion. Now, the stupid person that I am, I didn't go to the doctors. We said, well, we're going to finish our hunt. I'm fine. I didn't break anything. I appear to be intact, anything like that. So we finished our hunt. We were fine. We met up with a friend afterwards, told him the story. A couple days later, I started having numbness and tingling in my neck, and numbness and tingling in my hands, and this horrible, horrible pinching pain in right where my scapula is. I went to doctors. I went and got MRIs, and excuse me, my nose itchy. No one really had anything for me. They said, there's nothing wrong with you, and I started getting numbness and tingling in my face. To make a long story short, turns out I had this sort of entrapped nerve from this area, or some nerve damage from this area that gets entrapped in my spine. And I go to a chiropractor to remedy the situation. And I go probably every 4 months to the chiropractor, and what it does, it just creates a little space between C7, that bump that you feel on the back of your neck. That vertebrae is C7, and for whatever reason, right in that area, I get like an entrapped nerve, and it causes horrible pain. It causes this pain that just shoots down my arm, and if I go to the chiropractor, it fixes it for me, and then it lasts about 4 months or so, and I just go back. Every once in a while, if I can put tension or traction, excuse me, like if I lay on the bed and my wife pulls my head to just create a little space, that gives me some relief too. When I lay down to bed, if I'm not holding my head up, the pain goes away. But for the most part, if I have the pain, it's there all day. Heat and ice help, but you know, I'm lucky to be alive. It could have been a lot worse. I could have broke my neck, could have broke my back, could have done a lot of things. So, lesson to you. I don't want to make this video too long. Lesson to you, just trust, check out things, safety, if you're going to sit in someone else's tree stand or any of that. Ultimately, I don't think you should sit in someone else's tree stand anyway. It was not really my cup of tea to do it, but it was after deer season, and it was probably just a deer hunting, and we sat it. And turns out, after we went back and we inspected the tree stand, the cross member bar, that support bar that goes halfway up the ladder and attaches to the tree, was not on it. So that didn't help us at all. All right. Subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and ring that bell. That'll alert you any new videos I got coming out. Everyone, be well, be safe, and thank your blessings that you're alive. Be well. Bye.